Hello everyone! Happy afternoon. This is really the first real vlog since moving because I've had a lot of the moving content, and you would have seen the last video of the little moving series was like a time lapse of a unpack with me type situation, and we've made a lot of progress and a lot of stuff even since that, which has made the house feel even more like home. But there are a few things that we need from like Winners, Marshalls, HomeSense, because I have a few gift cards for there. So that is where I'm venturing off today. So this is kind of the first time I'm adventuring into town by myself. And by into town, I mean driving into Barrie. So I am very excited. There is a huge like open mall area that's got a lot of shops, including, shockingly, a Sephora. Never would have guessed that there was a Sephora there, but it is. And I have some gift card money for Sephora as well. I don't think I'm going to Sephora today. I feel like I'm going to very much only make it into like the Winners, HomeSense, Marshalls stores, because I'm only gonna have so much energy to go and do that. But I thought I'd bring you guys along. I'm going to be more brave with my camera and just deal with it. I say this now. We shall see. I've got my tea, I've got my map. Let's get started. So I went into Bed Bath & Beyond because they are closing in Canada and they currently have 20 to 40% off clearance. Let me tell you, it's a joke. Straight up joke. So I don't go to Bed Bath & Beyond very often. I've maybe been into the store a total of 5 times in my life. And so I went in not really knowing what to expect. It was kind of like, oh, I need some homeware stuff. Let's just take a gander. So of course, tons of stuff is already sold because the moment people hear clearance, they go out and buy stuff even if it's only a few percent off, which I understand because waiting any longer, there's a chance you're just not gonna get it. But the prices on things is ridiculous. Like I saw some Christmas napkin rings, so like festive napkin rings. One set was like words, like joy, merry, that kind of stuff, and the other was Christmas lights. Regularly $35 for 4, and there, I think it was 30 or 40% off that, and it still came to like $28. And I'm like, $7 for one napkin ring? Like, I don't know if I'm just not into that bougie life, but like, what the hell? So I walked away with one thing, which I'm going to show you guys, because it was $1.19, less than $1.40 with tax. It was 2 cookie cutters, because I like to hoard cookie cutters. Do I bake cookies very much? No, but we're working on it. And then I went into just Dollarama, so I needed to get a shower curtain liners. Now we have 2 showers, and I cannot resist a stamp. And so I got some clear acrylic stamps of like stamps, stamps, like mailing stamps, because I really liked them. And obviously I got back into doing my bullet journal, although not obviously in the last, actually not last month, just because of moving and everything. But I am now going into Marshalls. I'm gonna go Marshalls, Michaels, HomeSense, and then home. And I'm feeling pretty good. I'm like, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go to Marshalls or Winners first. I think Marshalls is the cheaper end of the spectrum. I feel like HomeSense is higher because HomeSense and Winners are often linked together, but Marshalls are usually separate. So for some reason, my brain's telling me that Marshalls is cheaper. So I want to go into Marshalls first for the items I'm looking for, and then if they don't have them, I'm sure HomeSense will. And I'm pretty sure there's also a Winners around here. Maybe not. Maybe I'm imagining that. whenever I'm at a Winners or HomeSense, I am always drawn to like the marigold and mustards and the sage greens, although they do have some really nice olive green like Easter stuff over here. Cute. I might do this green as our accent wall in the dining room instead of my truer green, but we'll see. Trying to find a mirror for the powder room. Do I want a smaller circle? Do I want a larger circle? I love the shape of this one, but it's too wide. And I don't really feel like going boring and rectangular. What do you think? Good morning, everyone. This is the first view you're getting of my office. It's not done yet, but I did empty like 4 or 5 boxes, a couple storage bins, and there's still some more to go. I am missing a piece of furniture that I can't bring up by myself. Scott and I keep talking about bringing up, but we are not agreeing on the best method of doing so because it's a heavy piece. I want to use a trolley to get my filing cabinet up here. Scott just wants to lift it. To be honest, my back and shoulders are just really not down for it. I've done a lot of lifting this week, and like the other day my biceps were so fatigued. It must have been Monday. They were so fatigued. We did so much on Sunday. Sunday we woke up, we changed the toilet, we built our treadmill, we built our punching bag so that we could clean up our gym area, so that at the bottom of the stairs, it became a bit of a dumping ground for things that didn't quite fit in the storage room or we weren't sure where to put them. I moved that into the gym area. Then I cleared out most of the storage room into that little, I'm gonna call it like the basement foyer. And then we built our 2 metal shelves. We built our 3 wooden shelves for storage. And then I basically filled the shelves. I didn't fill the shelves because there's actually so much stuff that hasn't been put back in yet, but it looks so much better. But anyways, that was probably our most productive day ever. We did so much, but we were both exhausted by the end of it. Monday, I was quite tired. And today, honestly, I'm exhausted. I have not been sleeping well since we moved. I sleep for a good chunk, wake up for a bit, and then like knock back out. And it's mostly because I'm not going to work right now. So my body is struggling at this point because it's been, I want to say like 6 weeks. Yeah, so like this morning, I was kind of awake from like 5 onwards. Scott called up, asked if I wanted breakfast. With my face in the pillow, I was like, yes. So I got up, ate breakfast, and then I think by that time it was about 7:30, and I literally went straight back to bed and passed out for an hour and a half. So my real sleep has been coming at not such a good time. So I woke up this morning and I am mentally fatigued from some things, and I kind of just like, we have a busy rest of the week. So today's Wednesday, but like we're going to our besties tomorrow to visit them, staying over there. Then we are coming back here and hitting up other bestie and potentially going out for St. Patty. And then on Saturday, we're going up to Scott's aunt's cottage, which used to be a little tradition of ours for March break. We're excited to go and just chill up there for the day, and then come back home Sunday, and I'm gonna be dead. My social battery is going to be absolutely blown. I'm gonna enjoy it while I'm there, and then it's just gonna hit me. So, I'm just trying to figure out what I'm gonna do today. Hey, so I decided, since it was such a glorious day out, I was gonna go for a walk around the neighborhood. I have not been able to explore it at all, and with the weather being chilly, I am not motivated to go outside whatsoever. But it's apparently only 2 degrees, but it feels a lot warmer. I think it's supposed to be up closer to 6, so who knows what it's actually like right now. But it's really nice. Getting some sunshine. I'm still layered because I wasn't sure how warm it was. Haven't found my gloves yet since we moved, so keeping my fingers in my sleeves. But it's a really nice walk, and there's some very interesting houses that, you know, in the future could be our next house. Always fun to take a look. Alright, so as you guys have seen in the house tour, we were left with these blinds, which I actually do really like. I do like the sheer paneling of them, but because this is like a direct route into, please don't mind the mess, into the room with the projector, our living room, it's a little bit bright if we want to start an earlier movie. So I'm going to currently switch over to the blue blinds, the navy blinds we had in our bedroom, and see what a difference that makes. So here's the before with them fully closed. So you can still see it definitely cuts down the light, but just wait until you see these ones. All right, so we have a conundrum that I realized but didn't quite clue in yet, that window is a lot larger. So our bedroom window previously had all 4 of these panels, so it needs 4 panels, or at least wider ones than we have. So obviously the impact is not as strong. We also aren't actually planning on using the blue ones in here. These are, like I said, from our old bedroom, and we have gray ones from our living room before, but we can't find them yet. They're still in a bag somewhere, so I thought this would help. So I'm gonna move those 2 blue ones over here, because that's the primary window that gets a lot of light, and I'll put the gray ones back up there. You really can see such a huge difference with the fact that sheer panel's in, but this one does make a dent. It'll do for now until I said that I can find our gray ones. These ones are not quite as heavy in weight as our kitchen ones right now, but they'll do. All right, we are at Flying Monkeys. We are picking up some beers for our buddy tomorrow, and maybe we're gonna get a pretzel. Good morning, everyone. I must confess, I really and truly started a vlog, this vlog actually a week ago. It was only a little tiny bit of footage from the other day. So we're gonna pretend that a week has not passed by. Basically, the end of my week was just busy. Like, we scheduled a lot of things which we typically wouldn't do. Honestly, it's amazing to watch little ones grow up. And obviously, I've never really had any little ones in my life. Indiana's the first one, so every time we see Indy and there's like just more progress, I'm just like, oh my god, just like I am smitten with her all over again. And I'm very excited to have the same thing with my nephew. So anyways, I wasn't really vlogging because we were just chilling, like we were catching up, and I saw Boston about a month ago, just before we moved, but we haven't hung out and stayed over since like October. And then the next day was Friday, which was St. Patty's Day. We came back from our friend's place and decided we were going to go out. Went to the Flying Monkeys in Barrie and discovered they have it upstairs. I guess if you're local, you probably know that, but if you only stopped there once or twice and did not know, there is an upstairs, and in the upstairs there's a dartboard, there's some pinball machines, there's some arcade machines, and so we will definitely be going back. So I will insert a couple pictures, and I think I got a couple seconds of footage of things. We just had a really good time, just hung out, weren't out super duper late. We left there just before 11, and then Saturday we got up and we headed out to Scott's aunt's cottage. So we were really happy to get back up there, and it's funny because there's actually no kids this time. So it was just Scott's 2 aunts and uncles that were up with us, and we got to meet some of their cottage friends, but we had a big bonfire on the lake, and you know, had our hot dogs and our marshmallows, and just really enjoyed each other's company. So again, I don't really vlog much with Scott's family, or even like my own family, because it's just, I don't know, not that it's uncomfortable, but I also don't want to be showing a camera in anyone's face. So I will post a couple pictures of that, because that was, again, some fun little memories. And then Scott and I hung out with his dad a little bit on our drive home yesterday, because we had to drive past the cottage to come home. And then I literally laid on the couch for the rest of the night because we were so, like, our social batteries were so depleted that we were gonna watch season 2 of Shadow and Bone last night, but Scott and I were just like, let's just do our own thing. So I just vegged on the couch, had a really good sleep, like definitely slept in. Like, I've been awake, for me, this is so boring, but basically in the morning I wake up early still, because my body's still like, you should be doing something, and then I just kind of roll over. I was blessed with the ability to go back to sleep, something Scott does not have, something that I hope our future children have, because it's the greatest thing ever. So I have just spent the last, I'd say 20 minutes or so, writing a grand to-do list as Scott likes to say, my list of lists. Oh god, there are so many things on this list, but I took inspiration from Kelsey from the Sorry Girls, who gave herself 24 hours to do a bunch of tasks. I don't think I'm gonna be that extreme, but also my tasks aren't as time consuming as hers, but that's the list. It's not done, but that's like the bulk of it. And I literally just sat in the different rooms and was like, hey, what needs to move? And so I have simple things of like, you know, take out the recycling, or like move this bin to the basement, just simple stuff like that, because sometimes I just need like an exact list. Because if I just went, oh, like tidy the kitchen, that's just overwhelming for me. So I do what I do best. I write myself a list. Now we're gonna do better to actually follow said list. Yeah, just want to do some things to make me feel more comfortable, because I'm getting to the point now where I've been dancing around some things because I haven't finished unpacking them, or I haven't found a home for them yet. So today's the day. The next couple days are the days of doing that. So yeah, I just wanted to check in because I really do want to vlog, but sometimes it just seems so mundane, and yeah, my vlogs don't do as well, but I really enjoyed doing them. So I'm trying to find a way of mixing, you know, the themed videos of stuff with just the vlogs, because I know that that's something I enjoy watching. We shall see. I am going to write a few more things on this list and get started. The satisfaction that I'm feeling right now about how much of a dent I've made in cleaning and organizing the house in the last couple days, oh, satisfaction is way up there. So my dining room is basically finished. Like I said earlier, the blue curtains are not staying. We're gonna put our gray ones up from the living room before, once we figure out where they are. I think they're in the garage. I think they must have been tossed into one of the bags, because I think I've emptied every other bag in this house, at least upstairs, like main floor and up. I think there's a couple bags currently in the storage room, but I've just gone through those, so it's not any of those either. So it must be in the garage. All right, so I finally got the right curtains up, and I wanted to show you guys the true before and after. It is about 6 o'clock, so it is super bright, as you can see from the bright sun on the floor. So this is what the room looks like with the curtains opened, and this is what it looks like with them closed. No more sunshine on the floor, and dramatically cooler. Obviously, those ones are still pretty lit up because it's so bright, and the side is not as bright, but it makes such a difference for the projector. I really do like the gray ones that were already up, so I'm happy that we're sticking to gray as the color palette. I have moved some plants in here. They've been chilling in the kitchen because we get so much sun. We get morning sun in the kitchen. I don't know if I can emphasize this enough, but the amount of sunshine my house gets makes me so happy. The dopamine I get from sun all day somewhere in my house literally makes my little flower heart so happy. So I want to show you guys the gallery wall that is now up. So this is actually the gallery wall that I had planned in our dining room you know, a week or two before we bought a house. So needless to say, it never went up, but these watercolors I've actually owned for half my life. I bought them in Italy. I think all four of them the same trip. I went to Europe a few times when I was in high school. Yes, blessed life, over our March breaks. And I think I got all four of those on the same trip, because they probably got them at the same seller. And I always really loved them, but I never hung them up. And when I moved in with Scott, my dad was like, you should really get these framed. And I was like, oh yeah, we'll see, whatever. Wanting to, but not knowing where to put them. And then I did this puzzle a couple years ago, this big atlas puzzle, which I really loved. And I often like to display the puzzles that I've made. I have a few of them framed. And I thought, this could be kind of a cool little layout. So I ended up getting these frames. I may have ended up buying them from Michael's, because it was the images, the watercolors themselves were a little bit larger, so I had to trim them down a bit. But I think I ended up getting them at Michael's, so I can get more, because like I could, in theory, add some more, higher and lower. So one thing that we're thinking about doing, and we've always kind of had it planned, but we just didn't know obviously when, and we still don't really have a when, but Scott and I are going to be buying a Murphy bed. His mom's had a Murphy bed, and we love it. I actually think it's an incredibly comfortable bed, despite it, you know, flipping down from the wall. But we didn't want a full-sized Murphy bed, at least not in the full traditional cabinet where it folds down, because we just don't have a spot for it. And shockingly to some, maybe, we don't want a guest room, at least not yet. We do not want a guest room, but we know that now a little bit farther away, we want people to be a little bit more comfortable than our couch, which is a pull-out, more ideal for one human than two. And we have a foam topper that we add on for extra comfort for anyone who wants to stay on it. So we know that we need something a little bit more, but we want something that's a little more low profile and easier to disguise, if you will. So we came across, I did some Googling, and I found out they have Murphy beds in cabinets. So they look more like a credenza or a storage unit or a set of drawers, something like that, like our bar. And so we have fallen in love with that idea. We know it's now gonna go in here. Right now when you come in, we've got the bar cabinet on the left. Originally, it was actually going to go here. But I thought with this painting, it just seemed really nice in the room. It kind of helps to fill the space. But we thought maybe the Murphy bed or Murphy cabinet would fit here, but it's literally just a smidge too wide, and that will drive me nuts. So we're gonna end up moving the bar over there, and then that will give us enough space here to have that cabinet, and then all we have to do if and when someone stays over is basically pick up our table, pivot it over here. So that's the thought. I still haven't moved my mirror to my office. I have not really done my office yet. I've unpacked a lot of boxes in it, but I've yet to organize it. But I do want to show you guys just a couple more things. So the kitchen and not dining room. The kitchen and living room are almost done. So the floor is a disaster in the living room right now because we're gonna put all the consoles away. So that's why this mess exists. But I really want to get the bin out of the kitchen because it was driving me absolutely mental. So I decided to put back my side table because I love it, and I just kept putting them on the floor or like balancing things on the storage tubs that were still up here. So that's gonna stay there. And then our other one, which used to hold just kind of our tech stuff at the old house, that's kind of the corner with all of the plugs, we're gonna put all the consoles and such in there, so that way it doesn't crowd. So in here with our projector table, we have like our amp and stuff. But instead of just crowding this like we did before, we think it'd probably be a little bit more visually aesthetic and less cluttered to stick it on that. So I'm super excited. And then I finally have full access to my kitchen from both directions now. And then I don't think I've showed you guys yet, but I got up my whiteboard calendar, which I really like. We're gonna bring back, I think, the white shelf from our kitchen that used to be above the microwave down here for the cookbooks, because the cookbooks are currently stored up there above the fridge, and I think that could be better utilized. Started fixing my island because you guys would have seen it was a bit on the wonk earlier because it got a little bit broken on the move. But I've got my pantry back out with all of my teas. Living my best life. But then I don't know what to do with all of our spice racks because we don't need spice racks anymore because we actually have an entire cupboard dedicated to spices. So I might use those in my office. So I'm gonna take that one upstairs. I am really gonna go try and write a blog post because I've been slacking hardcore. I think I've got like 16 posts in my drafts that I've like started or like so I'm gonna do that. But I think because my office is such a mess, I might bring the laptop down to the dining room and enjoy the evening ambiance of the sun. And my kitchen's not perfect yet, but it's making progress. Progress over perfection or even completion. But I will check in with you guys tomorrow. I lied. I did want to show you guys a couple more things before I close out for tonight because I'm gonna forget tomorrow. But at the bottom of my basement stairs, it is no longer a disaster. This is gonna be my puzzle area. Originally, I was gonna set this table up in part of the workout area, but it just didn't look as intentional, and I figured it was just gonna get in the way, and then Scott and I are gonna get huffy at each other, so I figured this is a really good spot. The basement door is gonna go back on. We weren't sure if we were gonna do it, but we're going to. So I got my puzzle stuff, and then I got a whole gym set up today, and I am so excited. So I'm gonna flip you around so you guys can see. All right, pardon the mats. They're obviously dirty and salty from the move and just regular stompage, so I am gonna be cleaning those. But I've got my 2 sets of 4 squares, and then our 2 large rolls. Unfortunately, they don't quite fit in the corner because there is an angle there. And obviously the punching bag is not in its present home. Got our fan over there. And then I've got like my yoga mats and my foam rollers. We've got our dumbbells. We've got the Bowflex one from Costco. We've got our weight stand. And then I've got the TRX. I've got our punching gloves. Not like full-on boxing gloves, but like sparring style, I believe. And then this side, obviously I need to just move that a little bit, but that's what this looks like. And it's just so bright. And then this little motivation. Future editing Sydney here. I forgot to end that vlog because it spanned about 2 weeks with not a lot of stuff in it. So this is me signing off for this vlog, but definitely if you haven't already, I've started posting YouTube shorts. So if you're not following me on Instagram and seeing my reels, definitely check out the YouTube shorts. And there's gonna be some new blog posts coming out. So everywhere I am, you can check me out. And I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.